What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Lawmakers are pushing for a fourth stimulus check in the infrastructure package. The battle to have a fourth stimulus check included in the infrastructure package is heating up every single day, as we're also seeing a new surge, a new wave of coronavirus in the United States. And Michigan is actually talking about a partial lockdown. The Michigan governor is facing resistance to calls for closures amid the COVID-19 surge in Michigan that medical experts are saying their hospitals cannot keep up with the newest surge. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging high schools in the state to voluntarily suspend in person classes, all youth sport games, and indoor dining and gatherings for 2 weeks as her state, Michigan, leads the nation in COVID-19 cases. But some organizations are pushing back. Quote, as we take a hard look at the data, observe the spread of the variants, we all need to go above and beyond the rules we already have in place, said the governor on a news conference. We all have to step up our game for the next 2 weeks to bring down rising cases. One factor for this surge, a rise in cases for children, teenagers, and children. Since February 19th, state data shows that virus cases for children under 10 jumped by 230%, which is higher than any age group. Residents aged 10 to 19 saw a 227% increase in infections during this same time period. Quote, young people are not impervious to this virus, said the governor. She advised high schools to temporarily transition to remote classes and for restaurant goers to eat outside or opt for carryout instead. The governor also pushed for small gatherings to be held outside with all individuals wearing masks, and that all youth sports should halt their games and practices for 2 weeks. This comes as just across the border in Ontario, Canada, they have a full-blown lockdown for 1 month, completely full blown. In fact, let me show you these pictures from the Dollarama in Ontario, Canada. With restricted articles, you are literally not allowed to buy anything that is non-essential. So, as you can see here, this says restricted articles. Ontario provincial regulations that dictate that the following item categories are non-essential and cannot be sold at this time. And you can see all these different things here that physically cannot be sold in Ontario, Canada. Here is what the aisles look like there in Ontario, Canada. So this is a shoe aisle, and you're physically not allowed to buy them. This is to, I guess, prevent people from going to the stores, which is, it's considered a full-blown lockdown. So literally, they're only allowed to buy essential items. So if they're already at the store, they literally can't buy anything that's not considered essential there in Ontario, Canada, as this new wave of the virus is hitting the US and the Canada. I mean, Michigan and Canada are right next to each other. And you can see here, they're literally not allowed to buy essential items. Here's another picture of an aisle. Well, it's literally saran wrapped, and they physically cannot even get to the items to even grab them. This was the emergency alert sent out the day before that says a stay-at-home order is in effect. Only leave home for essential purposes such as food, healthcare, vaccines, exercise, or work. It's the law. Stay home and save lives. Scary stuff, and our closest neighbor in Canada and struggling in Michigan too. So this new wave, they say that the new variant, the B.1.1.7, is actually now the dominant strain in the United States. So the original variant, which the vaccines were created upon, is no longer even the main variant in the United States. And the double mutated variant is now in California, and that has two different mutations. And experts say that that could make the vaccines even less effective on that double mutated strain. White House press secretary has been getting the Ganville thrown at her on the press conferences lately. Here's White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki defending the infrastructure slash stimulus package that they're trying to pass right now.
Is it a little dangerous to be always citing the polls, though, as your basically your credibility?
Do you not think the American people's view is important as it relates to what elected officials do on the Hill?
Sure, but don't polls change a lot, whereas the elected officials are elected officials?
There's been pretty consistent support for infrastructure, and I think it's an important point. We feel like it's an important point because when we talk about bipartisanship, we're talking about how we meet the needs of the American people. Republicans, independents, Democrats. Rebuilding bridges is not a Democratic idea. Ensuring kids don't have access to clean water is not a Democratic idea. Broadband access probably actually impacts more rural areas that might be leaning more Republican than Democratic if you look at it, the maps across the country. So our point is this is addressing not a political issue. This is addressing a vital need in the country that impacts all of the American people.
The Democratic Congressional Caucus, which is a group of 95 different Democrats from Congress, are pushing President Biden to include a multitude of stimulus items in this infrastructure package. The second part of the package is going to be the human part of the infrastructure, which really it could be a whole slew of things. Here's what the Democratic Congressional Caucus, or the Progressive Caucus, is pushing to have Biden included in this package. And remember, they have a lot of sway because they're a group of 95 people in Congress. So they definitely have the numbers to sway things yes or sway things no. If you don't appease them enough, you won't be able to pass any package. As you can see here, after surveying its 95 members regarding the priorities for the American Jobs Plan, which is the infrastructure slash stimulus package, the next one, the fourth round, the Congressional Progressive Caucus is advancing the following 5 priorities at this stage of infrastructure discussions. Priority number 1, strengthen the care economy. Invest $450 billion in Medicaid home and community-based services. President Biden supported creating over 1 million jobs in the home care industry. These jobs should pay $15 an hour and include the right to join a union. Make access to childcare a universal benefit, which means childcare would become free. Eliminate work requirements and provide training and support for the childcare workforce and invest in childcare facilities. Establish permanent paid family and medical leave. They want to guarantee housing choice vouchers for all eligible Americans and convert the funding status from annual appropriations to mandatory spending. They want $70 billion to address the public housing repair backlog and $45 billion for the National Housing Trust Fund per year. So they want lots of money for affordable housing. They also want to dramatically lower drug prices, and this is Bernie Sanders been talking about this, as we showed on the show a couple times, as well as expanding Medicare. The Congressional Progressive Caucus wishes to improve on the bill H.R. 3 in a manner recommended by drug pricing advocates and the Biden-Bernie Sanders Unity Task Force, including everyone, including the uninsured and private plan participants, should benefit just from lower negotiated prescription prices, but also have inflationary caps on these prescription prices. Expand the number and types of drugs eligible for negotiations, launch prices, and inflation caps. They also want to cap prescription prices at the average price in other countries and enforce negotiation and associated price limits through tax penalties, basically saying to these prescription pharmaceutical companies, these multi-billion-dollar companies, that if they charge the U.S. more, that they will get tax penalties for doing that, which would bring the cost of prescriptions down. And they also want to use savings to pay for lowering Medicare eligibility age and expanding benefits to include dental, vision, and hearing. And that's what we've seen Bernie Sanders talking about, This is now spreading among the Democratic Party. And you can see here lowering Medicare eligibility age and expanding benefits to dental, vision, and hearing, that they want to have that included in Medicare for no additional costs or premiums. I really think that expanding Medicare to include these additional benefits would be a huge, huge stimulus provision. As we talk about on the show, there's a lot more than just stimulus checks. And expanding Medicare to include vision, dental, and hearing aids, and other things to be covered under Medicare would be absolutely amazing for people in the program. Because, as you know, going to the dentist alone can be hundreds of dollars, and hearing aids are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, depending on what type you need and stuff like that. Some of them tens of thousands of dollars. Having that included in Medicare, and possibly even lowering the age to make it eligible. I've seen age 55 being thrown around. Would be absolutely amazing, because it would basically give health care and additional benefits to many of our seniors without any penalties and without any additional premiums and stuff like that. This is starting to get a lot of push, a lot of movement. We talk about that on the channel, that the push and the movement and the kind of cry, the outcry, the best way to say it is the momentum for a bill is one of the most crucial things to if it's on the brink of being included or not in a package. And the momentum for these Medicare expanded eligibilities and additional benefits have really started to creep up, even just in the last like 48 hours. That momentum is really going that way. The other thing with a lot of momentum is the student loan forgiveness. I talked about a lot in the, I think it was the last video. But I expect that we could see student loan forgiveness on the masses. Remember, we've already seen 3 mini rounds of student loan forgiveness by President Biden. But I think we could see the big one, the $10,000 to $50,000 of student loan forgiveness, possibly within the next week. And of course, the other major thing that the progressive lawmakers are rallying for is recurring direct stimulus payments. That is the recurring direct stimulus payments is really the most exciting part about this if we were to get it through. I think we'll likely see multiple different stimulus provisions in the infrastructure slash stimulus package before all is said and done. But just the possibility for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks with this new bill proposal that came out about a week ago from Senator Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren is really just an absolutely phenomenal thing. If they were to get that to go through, would be the greatest stimulus package plan check, anything like that yet to date. That would be absolutely amazing. Even if we were to get this bill by the Michigan Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Representative Jayapal for a one-time $2,000 stimulus check, and then the $1,000 monthly recurring payments, even if we got that until the pandemic was over, that would be absolutely amazing, because it would eliminate the need to have to pass a stimulus package for every single stimulus check, going into the 4th stimulus check now. Really, it's only President Biden's first stimulus check. So I think a lot of people know that Biden wants to pass more than one stimulus check, with President Trump having passed 2. And the good news is that there's so many different packages and provisions that could be in this next stimulus package, or even done through standalone bills after this, or through presidential executive order. I actually think the student loan forgiveness is going to be done through presidential executive order. Biden said that he wasn't sure about doing that at first, but now he's asked his White House staff and education secretary to look into doing that. And everything I see from every expert says that he can do it, because 95% of the debt on student loans is owned by the government. So he can simply do that through a presidential executive order just by signing on the line. Other bills can be done with other types of debt forgiveness, either through executive order or possibly through standalone bills, which will basically just be a stimulus bill to possibly forgive other types of debt in the future. The majority of mortgage debt is owned by the government. It's actually backed on the back end from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those are two government backed agencies. So they could do mortgage forgiveness, or they could do credit card debt forgiveness, or even medical debt forgiveness through a stimulus package. Probably not those through an executive order, but through a stimulus package, they can, because they would simply pay for it. So yes, the debt would be owned by, say, credit card companies, but they would just pay for that through a stimulus package. And the student loan debt forgiveness is just the start of kind of debt forgiveness that we could see even more of on the horizon. Like I said, there's a lot of different things in the fourth round of stimulus, and probably even more going forward for the fifth round of stimulus. And who knows how much we could see until the pandemic is over. And Biden's really just come in office. So I really feel like they're just getting started. The Democrats have a full 2 years of control of the House and the Senate until the next election comes up. And 2 years is a long time. And we already know that they can pass multiple different packages through the reconciliation process, and then they can go back and amend those bills to add even more. So really, the possibilities are endless at this point. I'll keep you up to date with the push and the momentum on all these different items. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates, and click the bell icon after subscribing to all notifications so you get reminder notifications when we go live, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. Amazon has a program where you can sell products on Amazon by the hundreds. And I've had dozens of people already that have replaced their 9 to 5 income doing that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.